This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 35, Distiny Calling.
Superman.
You're listening to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 35, Distiny Calling. I'm your host, Damien Hicks, and as ever, I am joined by...
Brett Summers.
And Paul Hawkins.
And together we are...
The Three Amiga... Oh, no.
That's been gone. Been taken.
That's actually why I didn't finish it, just in case.
Just in case, yeah, you never know.
Lawsuits.
So how we doing?
Not too bad.
It's been a good week.
Oh, chirpy. I think we're chirpy today.
I went chirpy. I've watched
I'm not.
many
This is an
things.
act. I'm in a foul mood. But...
I kind of sensed something of brewing earlier
But
on.
you in a foul mood is chirpy.
True.
Yeah,
this is true.
Yeah, that's you perking up.
Yeah.
Brett's sober this week.
Yeah, always a good sign.
I'm sober.
Distinct lack of wind this week as well, which is
So far, don't
encouraging.
Oh, yes. Well, you know. Nature has a way of catching up on us all.
So does drinking what you put in your system. And God knows what you were eating last week.
What did I eat?
I don't want to know.
No, we don't want to know. Let's move on before but just move on because people don't want to hear us bitching at each other.
Well,
When you say that, I suppose,
some
yeah,
might.
some might.
You know, I mean, imagine if you just stumbled across the podcast, weren't actually interested in films and TV, and thought, oh, well, actually, I just want to listen to three middle-aged men bickering.
Then you come to the right place.
Work for Ricky Gervais, let's face it.
This is true
Why is that everyone says middle age, a shudder goes down my spine?
because you refuse to accept that you're old. That's why.
And actually, let's face it, we're all older than what was middle-aged in the in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, but 60's the new 40, apparently.
Yeah, but remember watching like The Snowman on TV with the dad with the mustache? He was probably about 25, and he looked 50.
I'm
you
like
know.
David Bowie.
he was at the start.
Was there a dad in the snowman?
Yeah, with the mustache and the slippers.
Did they beat him and stick him under the stairs? Or was that mumbling out something?
Did they clean their teeth?
What?
No, I'm thinking that's an advert for Strident or something, wasn't it?
They looked very similar, yeah.
Yeah.
In the
What's
pyjamas.
Strident? That's a
Trident.
nuclear weapon.
Trident.
Trident. Strident. It's got something to do with teeth, isn't it?
Trident toothpaste.
Yeah.
Was it Trident toothpaste?
No,
Oh no, it's not. Isn't the
Strident.
stuff you put your false teeth in? No, that's Sterident.
Well, at least we're too old at the moment to know about that.
This is true. Yeah. Okay.
This week we're sponsored by Sterident.
And
Colostomy bags are us.
piles the cream.
I'm gonna have to look up what that toothpaste. I need to see that advert now. Not now. I won't do it now.
Sterident was the
Sterident was the tablet things.
Yeah.
yeah.
Was there a toothpaste called Strident?
Strident, yeah.
It was.
Yeah, and it had stripes. Hence.
Yeah, and the different
Oh,
colours.
come on, Mr. Google, you should be all over this.
Yeah.
Didn't there like different colours? Like there was a green stripe for minty, a blue stripe for like the normal one, and like a red stripe for like smokers. You know,
Smokers.
no, like the
Had nicotine in, did
the
it?
bleeding teeth people.
Yeah. Anyway, whilst you're doing that, Paul,
Hello.
how's your week been? Well, no, and I don't want to know how your week's been. Let's just get on to the telly stuff because I think we've done about 5 minutes of this nonsense as it is already. So, what have you been watching?
So
What's
this
floated
week,
your boat?
so I've been watching a bit more this week. I think I only watched like two things last week that I wanted to talk about.
That's two more than me, but
Yeah, well, no, you watched some things that we talked about. You weren't overly impressed with them by what I remember. So we're going to talk more about this in detail later on. But obviously there was Disney Plus Day this week, and that also coincided with one of the big drops to Disney Plus, which was Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings, or Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings. If you've seen the film, that's apparently how you pronounce his name. So I actually gave that a go. I didn't have to pay for it. It was free. Thank you, Disney. Well, I do subscribe, but if I didn't, then I could have subscribed for $1.99 or whatever it was and watched it. And I was really impressed with it. I think it was a really good film. And actually, I was there watching it thinking, actually, you know what? Damien would probably like this because it's not your normal Marvel film. As in the type of stuff that Damien despises about the whole Marvel
Spandex.
Universe.
And it's got Terry in it as well.
Yeah. So
What, from Minder?
I was, yeah, as I said, I was really impressed. The action was cool. Had the Mandalorian in it, which again is nice comedy. Comedy moment that it obviously doesn't have the Mandalorian in for any new listeners. This harks back to a foible that Brett made calling the Manchurian the Mandalorian a few podcasts ago. No, it was really good. As I said, different feel to a lot of other Marvel films. The potential love interest isn't the normal blonde-haired, blue-eyed cheerleader. That they have real chemistry as kind of friends. That it's going to work. The backstory's cool. Action fight sequences are cool. And as I said, I know we talked about Shang-Chi and the Legends of the Ten Rings before, but if you have Disney Plus, give it a watch. And Damien, if you haven't watched it this week yet, which you may have done, I suggest giving it a watch.
No, I haven't.
So, as I said, not like your normal Marvel film, which you don't necessarily like. I think you would like this.
Is it in the MCU?
Technically, yeah. Yeah, but there's no... Well, apart from Wong, there's...
And Terry.
Yeah. There's no other real crossovers at the moment.
Ben Kingsley.
All right.
I would say watch All Hail the King first on Disney Plus, which is
don't
about...
get me...
You don't need to. You
It's
don't
about
need to.
5
Damien.
minutes. It's like a 5-minute
it's only
little
5 minutes.
teasery thing.
No.
Yeah, so that we'll talk about some of the other Disney Plus stuff later on. But one thing that I'm not sure whether either of you two would have watched it, but it was popped up as part of Stars or whatever it is on Disney Plus, and this was Dope Sick. And this was with, again, weirdly enough, Marvel and DC actors now, with Michael Keaton and Will Poulter, and some other people like Peter Sarsgaard as well. So
is this the painkiller thing?
Yeah. So features around a drug company that are trying to push a new pain drug, and the reason d'etre for doing this is it's going to revolutionise the world, remove everyone suffering from pain, and even though it's an opiate, it only has a 1% chance of being addictive, or does it? And it turns out, well, no, it doesn't. But they've just pushed it that way. There's been shenanigans. We all hate shenanigans, but there's been shenanigans going on, deception going on, mismarketing going on. They're pushing it to doctors in the wrong way. And because of all of this, it basically becomes, leads to one of the worst drug epidemics in the States. And the effects are like rises in crime, as I said, drug addiction to it. What else was there? Oh yeah, so domestic violence, all the lovely stuff that comes with drugs. So drugs are bad, and all that kind of
just say no.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Be more Zammo.
Well, Zammo absolutely wouldn't. He'd be popping these pills back like no end.
Zammo got smack in the mouth.
No, but it was really good. Couple of interesting things. Michael Keaton. Okay, so he doesn't revolutionise anything he does in acting style, but it's a role that is ideal for him. Because he has the chance to do that little softer, more introvert character. But he has the gravelly voice, and he could get really leery if he wanted to. He absolutely doesn't. He's a doctor in this. But he's an angry doctor at the start because he's been pushed to sell these drugs thinking they're like God's gift to the world, and he's seen the effects it has on his community, and he got sucked into it as well by going to all these conventions, getting paid lots of money, and
Is he a small town doctor?
Oh yeah,
Living in a big town world.
He's a small town doctor in a mining community.
Going up against the man.
Yeah.
Did he take a midnight train going anywhere?
But yeah, he does a stand-up performance in the role, which is why they brought him in. He's perfect for it. The interesting thing for me was seeing Will Poulter. So obviously we know him as a kid in a lot of the TVs and films he's been in. And then we talked about it with Jennifer Aniston in the film it was in, We're the Millers. Still a little bit of a geeky kid. And now this is his... Actually, you know what? He's been hitting the gym a bit. And he suddenly looks at like almost a kind of a Ben Affleck. But
Bandersnatch dude, isn't it? Is the man who will beat Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
I've caught up now.
And that's what I'm saying. That was the interesting thing for me, seeing him, buffed up a bit, with a slightly deeper American voice.
It does it.
No, but seeing how actually now I can see how he could be Adam Warlock, and this is just from little thing because he's not playing an action hero. He's actually a salesman for the drug company. But again, it's just that different tone in his voice, a more deeper American voice, and he's obviously been hit in the gym. It was really good. It was a limited series, and I thought there was only 2 episodes, so we watched both of them. And it turns out that there's still more to come. So Cher wasn't happy with that because I promised her a limited series that we'd get through in a night. And now we've got to wait for the next one to drop. And I don't know when that is because I haven't looked on it. So that's worth a watch, in my opinion. So that's Disney Plus I wanted to speak about at the moment. May chip in later when we have some of our news items and all that kind of good stuff. Netflix. So the big one this week, the big drop on Netflix this week was Red Notice. So this is with what I'd like to say one of Cult Faction's favourites, Ryan Reynolds.
You love him.
I think you like to say that.
Can we at least put him in our podcast hashtags, just so we can get some bloody aviation gin. So it's got Ryan.
Get tickets to Wrexham.
Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and Dwayne Johnson. So Ryan Reynolds plays an art thief, in his head the best in the world, but lo and behold, there's a new kid on the block called the Bishop, aka Gal Gadot, and you got Dwayne Johnson, who Kel Surprise plays an FBI agent or a profiler hunting down Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot. So they're on the hunt for Cleopatra's golden eggs, would you believe? And it's literally...
And they love eggs. Is that part of it? Does that come out in the film, Ivan?
No, I don't think it does. So it's literally the cat and mouse chase of Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot gets in the mix as well. Now, this is a really interesting one because it costs something like $200 million to put on. So it's a big investment for Netflix, and I think it was one of their highest rating films ever. So in some ways for them, it's really paid off, but it's not very good, and it's a real shame. It's trying to be too hard, like Indiana Jones with the treasure hunting aspect, kind of James Bond with the action sequences, car chasing, all that kind of good stuff. And a bit like it's got that kind of Ocean's 11 vibe to it, where there's all the crime plots and stealing stuff.
So it's no National Treasure.
Oh no! It's absolutely not National Treasure. That is a fantastic film.
Love that film.
Oh, Cage Watch. The issue is it all just feels a bit bland and really too safe. That they tried to pitch this so much at like the family viewers. It doesn't take any risk. The action is very tame. The comedy is really watered down for what we know that Ryan Reynolds can do. And again, from an action perspective, it's watered down for what we know that The Rock can do. And they're all...
For me, Ryan Reynolds peaked in that Christmas film he did years ago. Can't remember what it's called now.
Daredevil.
No.
Deadpool.
No.
I know, I meant Deadpool. Oh,
Yeah, I know
I did
what
a
you
Brett.
I knew what you meant.
Two guys are going to a pizza parlour.
No, I don't know. I think I don't. It's something like holiday season or something like that.
Yeah,
It goes back to his
Deadpool
hometown.
2.
No,
Deadpool.
I'm sure he tried to pitch that as a Christmas film.
He did a Christmas trailer.
Yeah,
anyway, it's not important.
but going back to Red Note, it's just a bit wishy-washy. So even though they're supposed to be enemies, they're all kind of friendly and friendly rivals. Where you think there could be a love interest between Reynolds and Gal Gadot, there isn't. They're just kind of like brotherly, sisterly, acquaintances, and it just didn't need making. Yeah, but if you got two, but I wrote down after I watched it, movie didn't need making. It's not bad. I just kind of think it's a shame because obviously that they're trying to be forefront with the ratings and show they can do these big budget Hollywood blockbusters, even though they're streaming service. And yeah, right, they proved it with the ratings. But one of the things that I've liked from Netflix since it started going, and I kind of harped on about, and I think we all have to some degree, is that what they have been really good at is bringing those lesser known or a bit more those original stories to screen, even though they haven't made them. They've licensed them and they're distributing them on the streaming service. And just kind of think for $200 million, they could have made so many other really good, interesting films. Or
how
series.
much of that was his salary?
Well, each of them I think got paid $20 million each.
And The Rock and Gal Gadot. Or
yeah, no, that's
Gadot,
right. I think they got about $20 million each. I just think it is a bit of a waste of money, in my opinion, for a mediocre action film.
Okay. Is there a rating? Do you have a rating for it?
I give that 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Okay. If we're doing ratings, Shang-Chi, I'd give 8 out of 10. That one, yes, that's 6 out of 10. Okay, so moving on. So we first had a look at this trailer probably about 2 months ago now, and I think I was excited just because it's more content coming for Apple TV. Finally took the plunge and watched Finch.
Is that the Tom Hanks?
Yeah, but it's Tom Hanks Apocalypto.
Yeah.
So it's the end of the world.
A robot for his dog or something on it.
That's right. So it's the end of the world. Yeah. Tom Hanks is the last man on Earth, even though he isn't. The human race has been decimated. UV rays and radiation are basically killed off all plant life. You can't step outside without getting burnt unless you're in a cool-looking suit that he wears. And obviously, Tom Hanks basically roves around the Earth looking for stuff to survive or food for his dog or resources. So he's kind of like a less cool version of Will Smith in I Am Legend. Yeah, roaming around looking for stuff. And as per the trailer, so yes, spoilers, but if you've seen the trailer and as we guessed, there's no real surprise. And even from the clues from the trailer, and also it's given away in the first few minutes of the film, Tom Hanks is sick, like dying. He's coughing up blood. He's got radiation poisoning or something like that. He hasn't got long. So it's just him, his dog, and a little robot dog that he's created.
Does he drink Kiora?
What, where they all follow him around?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. That I know of.
We can't talk about that advert anymore.
He actually drinks
on the banned list.
He actually drinks whiskey with a little bit of water for some of it. So we know his life's coming to an end. Him being an engineer and inventor goes off and creates
an underwater city for mermaids.
That would have been a lot better. He creates a living, breathing. Well, I was going to say living, talking, walking. Living dog. So he goes up and creates.
That's a different film.
He goes up and creates a robot. Scans all the books he can find on surviving and looking after dogs to impart knowledge. He gives him Asimov's 4 laws of robotics, plus the other one where you have to look after this dog. That's your prime directive.
Robo-dog.
And before he can get the robot up to speed, lo and behold, a storm's coming, so he has to stop training him, take off. Otherwise, he's stuck in his underground bunker, whatever it is, for 40 days. By which time he knows he's going to die, and if he stays there, the dog's going to die. So off they set off for San Francisco, and this is the journey of them basically going to San Francisco. Tom Hanks being Tom Hanks, similar to pretty much everything he does. Think Castaway.
Sounds like The Walking Dead with no zombies.
Yeah, and you got the robot that sounds like Borat.
I think I can hear him.
No, but it's a real. Well, there's a few bad things. So the good things, it looks really good. They've obviously spent a lot of money on getting it right, look and feel wise. There are some really nice scenes of like him exploring the cities and going through all of that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I mean, the whole purpose about this is him trying to build up a relationship with the robot in essence becoming human to look after the dog. Stop watching the telly.
Not watching the telly.
No, I just wondered off the top of my head which James Bond film might have shown him kill any one person, and I thought it might have been The Man with the Golden Gun, but I was just trying to think about it completely off the top of my head. Carry on about Tom Hanks' dog.
Right. So the issue is you can't get close to or have any feelings for the robot or get attached to the robot because he sounds like Borat, like ridiculously so. There's hints of what could be action where they go into a building and it's shaded and shadow, so there are other humans there, but there's no action apart from not even a car chase. They're followed by a car half a mile down the road, and that's it. It just kind of feels a wasted opportunity. They didn't have to make it Mad Max or anything like that.
But just something interesting.
Yeah, something else. But again, I can see what they've tried to do. They've tried to make it all about him, the robot, the dog, and them building up this relationship. But it's really hard to get invested. The dog probably gives the best performance.
Tom Hanks upstaged by a dog again.
Because Tom Hanks plays Tom Hanks in pretty much every other film.
I've got a theory on this. If you think back of the majority of Tom Hanks's more recent movies, is it just the fact that no one wants to act with Tom Hanks anymore? Let's think back. We got this one where he's alone with a dog and a robot. That other one where he's locked to the terminal on his own. The other one, he's on an island on his own.
No,
but there's other people in it. But I think predominantly
more. Castaway was 20 odd years ago.
Yeah, I know,
more recent.
He's done a few films since.
Yeah, but time doesn't exist here. But
doesn't exist for you.
But I'm still in the 90s. Jump Street. No, but you think, do people not want to act with Tom Hanks anymore? Is it a thing now? There aren't many films where he...
Yes, there are. Most of his films, he acts with other people. When he was playing Mr. Whatever he was, the American TV guy, there was lots
Mr.
of other...
Rogers. Yeah, but a lot of that is him in front of the camera on his own, reenacting Mr. Rogers stuff.
Because he wants to play deep roles, and most of those are almost semi-autobiographical, or deep.
That's the word.
Yeah,
easy for you to say.
And you can see where they're trying to go with Finch.
Is it visually good? I mean, the trailer made it look like it was
visually stunning.
I was trying to avoid that.
No, it looks good. I mean,
we love a visually stunning movie.
The special effects are good, but it just lacks something. And again, it could be because this is more short circuit than it is anything else because of the silly voice that the robot has. And he's an inventor. He could have
and some covert racism.
Well, yeah, pretty much. He could have given him decent vocal, processing and all this kind of stuff. But no, he makes him sound like Borat. And it's lacking, as I said, on the action front. It doesn't need to be Mad Max, but there's hints of other people. It doesn't have it, and it doesn't have the chemistry between the dog, the robot, and Tom Hanks to make you really care. And you kind of know how it's going to end.
Okay, so not that good overall.
5 out of 10. The thing that saves it is the look and feel. And again, Tom Hanks doesn't do a bad performance. I'm not going to blame Tom Hanks for this.
I think you should.
No, absolutely
He's
not.
too busy collecting typewriters now. No one wants to act with him anymore. And and Forrest Gump's rubbish when you watch it back.
I've never watched it in the first place.
So that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about now. I may chip in when we talk about some of our news items as well with some of the others.
You're going to have to because
Yeah.
I'm going to leave the room.
So that's me out.
Cool. So before we move on, anyone want any flumps?
Not for me.
I'll try a flump.
Okay.
That I'm just saying that might be what caused the outburst last week.
No, you were farting way before the flumps came out.
The flump Trump.
Anyway, so Summers.
Oh yeah, I forgot I was a part of this podcast after Paul's hour. Right, what have I been watching? Well,
Who wants to be a millionaire?
oh yeah, definitely watching Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where I've been getting the questions right, and Paul has just been attacking the guests on the show with his hate. But he's just angry because I said that no one likes Tom Hanks anymore. But it's all right.
No, you didn't. You said Tom Hanks appears
No
in
one wants
film.
to act with him anymore. Yeah,
It's not
him
true,
and
though,
his
is it?
typewriters. Right, so I went on it was National
You went on a
Cinema
journey.
Week. It was National Cinema Week this week, where kids across schools got free tickets to enjoy the cinematic experience.
Ooh.
And I went with years 7 and 8 this week and sat through Sonic the Hedgehog, the 2020 Jim Carrey.
That was on at the cinema.
Well, it's National Cinema Week.
They're free tickets,
It's free
Damien.
tickets. So they put like cinematic events on, and you can book which ones you want.
And Brett books Sonic.
Well, I didn't book it. We just went.
Yeah,
on.
right.
It's more. There's all sorts of films. I mean, Jungle Cruise was probably one of the more recent ones. But the idea is it gets kids out into the cinema for that experience because they might not all get the chance to
Yeah,
go.
okay, yeah, I get the principle of that.
Especially when it
that's
costs like 80 quid a child
Yeah.
now if they want flumps as well. You know, it's just sort of like. And it was really good. I went in. I think I just went in with such low
So this is the
expectations.
one. Is this the one they actually remade?
They remade it.
CGI
Well, they
one.
didn't like the look of Sonic,
Yeah.
so they had to redo it. It's really good. I mean, it's a kids' film. Don't get me wrong. There's no deep plot, narrative, metaphoric devices or anything like that. But it's a great kids' film. And there's also a mid-credit scene. What was interesting is that most of the kids now wait when the credits start for something in the middle and something at the end. I think Marvel's trained that now. Whereas, like in our day, you grabbed your coat and you were gone. It's like, no, wait, because there'll be more. And if there's not, they can't work out why, because that's the expectation now.
Yeah, for us it just used to be bloopers, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, Bat Reynolds. Bat Reynolds saying something maybe a bit sexist, slapping a woman on the arse and whatever else. Sally Field loving it. All those sorts of credits. Dom DeLuise going,
Who plays a sheriff in that?
oh.
What's his...
Are we on Bandit or Cannibal?
No, Sonic.
Sonic.
Oh, the sheriff is James Marsden.
That's right. Who pops up in Hop as well, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he pops up in most things now.
Anything with a CGI character can
Absolutely.
act again.
But
Because
yeah.
no one wants to act with him either. Is that what you're going to say? You're going to go
No,
at
I
him?
just think he's now gone for that. I think he's a little bit old for the heartthrob thing now, and now he's going for that kids movie kind of. He's a safe man. You feel safe with him. He's going to be all right. No, one for the older mums now. He maybe got pregnant watching one of his earlier films, and now turned to him as a kind of secure figure in their life with their babies and stuff.
Anyway,
But yeah,
so
that's
Sonic.
a psychological fear. Sonic is very good. Watch it with the family. There's a mid-credit thing that hints at the sequel, which I believe is coming out next year.
With Tails.
It's really good. Yeah, Tails pops up at the end. Spoilers. But
You can
yeah.
give spoilers. It's like 5 years
there's a
old.
few nice bits in there. There's a bit where they go to a biker bar and stuff, which
Yeah.
is quite funny. And yeah, no, it's just I was genuinely impressed by it because I thought it was just going to be awful. And this is also in the Jim Carrey is good category of films because we know there's two. There's the ones where he's amazing, and there's ones where like he's just like, why is he even in this? It's shite. But yeah.
Connor enjoyed Sonic. We had to watch that about 5 times in a row. Pretty
Oh,
much.
there you go. So hopefully, yeah. So the kids are like.
He's only 6 though.
And there are things in it. It does play that Simpsons trick of there are some nice bits in there for the parents as well, and little references and little one-liners and that went over the
Don't
kids'
try and
heads.
give Simpsons credit for that. That's been going on since the 70s.
Yeah, no, but I'm just using a concept that the audience might be relatable to.
Okay. Sounds to me like you're giving credit to the Simpsons when they don't deserve it.
Okay, who does deserve it?
Well, any kids film from the 70s, because they
No.
did it then.
But weren't they just blatantly just doing it then? I don't think they were necessarily
fact, you
worried
could
about it.
even go back to, well, not go back, give out bloody Ant and Dec credit for doing it, but
Wonky donkey.
wonky
They
donkey and
were
all
just
that.
drunk.
Yeah, still.
And I've also I've started watching, because Christmas is coming, and I decided that the Wolves were running, and I went back to the Box of Delights.
Oh, cool!
Which is available on BritBox.
Does that? Oh, bloody BritBox!
But you said it was cool. Does it stands out. I would like to see, I'd like to see a remake, but with Patrick Troughton still in the role. Can they
I think if they remade it, the atmosphere wouldn't be there, because it would be too bright, too slick,
but
too polished.
It's a heyday back to the days when what we were on about the other week, when they weren't afraid of scaring kids on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit freaky. It's a bit weird. And it stands out. It's still good. Obviously, it has its moments, as it would do, but it's still pretty good. It's up there with some of the trailers we've seen recently. You know what I mean? It's like for special effects. So yeah, that's a good one. Doctor Who Flux is continuing.
I must admit, I did watch a bit of this.
You need to have been watching all three though. Have you seen all
No.
yet?
It was literally just on, and I thought, I'll give it 5 minutes just to see if it's shite. And it didn't look shite. It looked alright.
It is really good, but you do need to.
I don't need to.
Well, no, if you're watching the current one, it's 6 parts, and that was part 3 this week.
Yeah, no, I only watched 5 minutes.
And it's jumping backwards and forwards through time now. So if you're not following it,
really, Doctor Who jumping backwards and forwards through time
more than usual. But it is like if you're following it, it's hard to follow. But if you're just ducking in for one episode, you may not really have a clue what's going on. So it is one of those.
I'm not watching them until it's finished. Then
all 6. Yeah, I've kept them recorded, and then I'll go back through. I've got my theories about what's going on, but I'm not going to share them now, because just in case I am right, and then we ruin it for everyone. Like that film about Tom Hanks and his dog.
I just edit most of that out.
Yeah. But just
I said it was obvious from the trailer. We all guessed it, and they give it away in the first few minutes. Yeah,
but he made a robot look after his dog. Oh, give him an Oscar. Give him another one. But so Doctor Who, I think it's really good at the moment. It's probably the best stuff Whittaker has been given as Doctor Who, but she's tried to make everything really good with what she's been given, and sometimes you can't. But she's been trying.
To only do what you're given. Only work with what you're given.
So I'm assuming then she's got a Christmas special, and then she's off ski, is she?
I'm imagining there'll be a huge cliffhanger at the end. There'll be a big revelation at the end of Flux, which will lead to like a Christmas sort of finale, and then she'll morph into whoever's next. I did see a thing the other day saying that it was going to be what's his name?
The man who can't talk into a microphone. Could be him.
Probably, it could be him. But also might be what's his name? Luther.
Idris Elba.
I can't see that.
Yeah, no, not could I. But that was what made me laugh. It's he's gonna he's just worked his way out of the TV drama thing, and now he's going into he's in big time Hollywood movies, and then unless he really does like it, but I'm doubting it.
So I guess the money would be on somebody not being the atypical Doctor. So they've had a female Doctor now, and chances are he's going to go off on another bit of a tangent, surely from other Doctors that have come before.
Alan Cumming,
he'll be good. I still like Chris Marshall.
But as I said, I don't think they would. I
think he's too predictable, because he was the favourite before. So,
although isn't it being picked up by America now?
Yeah, it's on BBC America as well at the same time.
I thought it'd just been picked up by a new production.
No, I don't know. But it's been over in the States for a long time.
Yeah, but it's not, because it's BBC at the moment, but it's actually going to be produced by an American company now, isn't it?
I don't know.
I thought.
Well, it's BBC America in America.
Yeah, no, I know.
Bizarrely, but so I've been watching that though. That's been good, and also after 14 years.
You finished The Sopranos?
I have finished The Sopranos. I finally watched the last episode.
And did you watch the film?
And I've watched I was getting to that bit next.
Oh, okay, cool.
Spoilers. I didn't interrupt you.
It's just me and the listeners have been, avidly waiting for 4 months for you to finish the box set.
Yeah, it is done. Very good. I enjoyed the ending. I think he was definitely dead, but I think what you see after that is what he's sort of seeing or picturing in his mind as he's dying, and then it fades to black.
I haven't actually seen it,
But yeah, well, that's always been because basically you're watching it and it just fades to black,
right.
and everyone's like, "Well, what happened? What's the end?" And then it just stays black for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then the credits roll, and you're like, "What happened? We want to see what happened," and it leaves it bit Lynchian, leaves it to the audience to think what's happened, but no, he's definitely dead.
And the film?
The film. So then that led me on to watching The Many Saints in Newark. It's a really good film, but I would say it kind of plays off. I mean, you get all the characters when they're younger, and the people they've got in doing it are really good. And I've picked up the traits of the actors that play the characters when they're older. And there's some little, it's Easter egg full of little references and things to stuff in the series. And but to me, I would say it was a TV pilot rather than a movie. Like they've done it. It's looking good. They've always got that trap when you do that sort of thing, though, because we know the fate of a lot of the characters in it because it's a prequel, and you can't introduce too many new people because where are they later on in the series? Like they're not mentioned in the series. So you've got that kind of. I think that's the biggest restraints that the show had, the film had. But I think they'll probably do another one because it ends at the point where you want to see what happens next, which is always good, I suppose. Leave them wanting more. But to me, it was more a TV pilot. So if HBO want to knock out maybe 3 or 4 more movies of this, I'm up for it. Because I think that would be, rather than go into a 20-episode series, I think maybe if they did a movie a year or something like that, and just sort of 3 or 4 of those, and then it would end. I would end it like when Tony, after he, for Sopranos fans, I'd end it once he pulls the heist on the card game and then gets made and becomes a member of the family. That would be the bit where I would end it, if you know what I'm talking about. If not, go and watch it. But yeah, it was good though. But just kind of, for a film, it was just a long episode, really.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It was,
Yeah.
which is still good because it's a good show, but it wasn't like, oh wow, and it kind of ends just as Tony's getting going. Where the tagline was, see the man who made Tony Soprano, or whatever, or something like that. And who made Tony Soprano? And then just as he's kind of getting to that bit, something happens, and that's kind of the ending of the film. And it's a good ending, but it's like, but I guess I think that's probably on purpose because now they want another one, and people will be demanding it. And yeah, so that was good. I would go maybe a 7 out of 10 on that.
That felt reluctant, 7.
Well, I felt a bit kind of.
I don't think
I
don't think he meant 7. I think he meant 6.
Yeah, maybe it was a 6.
Just couldn't bring himself to do it because it's The Sopranos.
Because it's well written. It's just I was expecting. I don't know if that's my expectations of it that were thinking more of it rather than what it was. Does that make sense? And the other thing I watched anyway is I've watched season 3 of What We Do in the Shadows, which is now available in the UK on BBC iPlayer. Well, it's on every week, but you've also got on iPlayer you can just burn through all of them, and I did. Some really cool special guests.
Do they manage to talk into microphones?
I'm talking into the microphone. Donald Logue pops up as a fictionalised sort of vampire version of himself. He pops in and visits. It turns out he's been a vampire all along. Scott Bakula pops up on a at one point on a Skype call because they give him one of them gives him a ring, but they get muddled up because they thought that maybe he was actually a vampire and was hiding his identity. It's like, but he's like, it's Bakula. It's going, yes, but it sounds like this. I know what it sounds like, but I'm not. And so he gets a knife. Yeah, there's a lot of people. It's really good, very funny. Lots of little running themes through it, and a lot of threads from previous series are brought back and picked up on, and that's one thing it's really good at. So it's one of those shows, if you want to invest in it, you do get payoffs down the line, but it's not always like your normal sort of sitcom where it's like laugh a minute and then everything resets at the end for the next episode. So you kind of, it is worth it. I mean, like last time when in season 2 when they went to the, or was it even season 1 when they went to the Vampire Council and like Wesley Snipes is in there as a daywalker. But he couldn't make the meeting in person. He's on he phones in by Skype, and then they're like on about whether or not they can trust him because he can go outside. And is he a real vampire and all that? And so you get, Danny Trejo turned up in the first season. Tilda Swinton even turns up. She's the leader of the Vampire Council and all that. So there's a lot of people that sort of pop up through it, and it is a really good series.
Sounds like stunt casting to me.
Well, go and watch it and make up your own. So yeah, I've watched that, and I think that's everything I've been watching.
Cool.
That took up most of my free time this week.
Okay, so over to the host, Damien.
Mandalorian. Completed it, mate.
What do we think?
It's alright. After last week's conversation, you telling me that, it gets exciting and it gets, you'll be so pleased. And with what?
At the ending. No, you didn't get any feeling at all, and it was like, it's just a single X-Wing.
Well, it's just, I think from probably whenever he gets on that Stonehenge thing and starts doing the
Stonehenge,
what do you call it stuff, it's like
Force.
Yeah, he's going to turn up, isn't he? It's going to be him. So the elongated battle through the corridors of the spaceship, like, who could it be? Who could it be? It's a Jedi.
Green lightsaber.
Exactly. You're trying to build it up to be this big surprise. No.
You've got no soul.
I have no soul.
Has it got you interested for Boba Fett in the slightest, or has it put you off?
It hasn't put me off, but...
Did you watch the Boba Fett after credit bit?
Well, the bit where he
goes
back to Jabba's thing. Yeah. It's just was what it was.
Yeah, I must admit, I had similar feelings when
you were loving it at the time.
No. Around your point, they maybe tried too hard to make it a space western.
Yeah, there's that, and it was just a little bit too on point. I think it would have been. I would have preferred it more if he hadn't turned up at the end and it was just some random other Jedi that had come and got him, and
Yeah, but they got plans, haven't they?
Yeah, but if it had been someone else that come and got him, and it's literally he gets in this other Jedi gets in his spaceship and just turns on his comms and says, "I've got him," and it's Luke's voice at the other end of the comms. That to me would have had more impact than him.
They are kind of limited with their pool of Jedis.
There aren't many left at this point.
Oh, you can just write some in.
You can't just
listen to the misinformed man. Listen to his shit. See how the man throws his opinion out.
You could just make the Jedis up willy nilly. Oh,
who are you, Disney?
God, yeah. Apologies, listeners.
Oh, we're sorry about that.
We didn't know he was going to say that. Maybe he'll cut his own comment.
We're going to send him to the timeout corner for his crazy ideas.
I thought you were going to put him in cryo.
Carbonite.
Yeah. Are they making any more of that?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, but the thing is, as we know, they're expanding a lot more into the series as well. So, we talked about Boba Fett,
which is December, isn't it?
Yeah, and they've got the other ones coming as well, haven't they? So, and obviously, no, I'm not going to talk about that now. We can talk about that later when we talk about Disney Plus.
Okay, fair enough. For me, I enjoyed the stuff when it was more about the Empire, like when they're on that. I don't know what it was. Let's say uranium. It wasn't uranium, but they're on that uranium mine, and they're pretty much just in the canteen chatting away to
when
his previous senior officer.
And all that,
just the exposition about that stuff was far more interesting than the Jedi nonsense.
And you might get that in Boba Fett.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I think Boba Fett is going to be your intergalactic Sopranos.
No, it's not though, is it? It's just
going
to be Bounty Hunter of the Week or some nonsense.
Well, no,
like that.
He's the crime boss and he's took over.
Yeah, but he's just going to be sending someone off to go and get someone for him. Or,
we'll see.
There's a magical sword that I need, so
I need the dark side.
Man.
Man. He's just going to send. I need you to go to find Prince Adam in Eternia.
That would be cool if they did a crossover to He-Man.
If he then comes back with Dolph Lundgren.
Vader be...
No, I said He-Man, not this fake.
Cool. Anything else?
So that tower thing that you talked about last week, Paul, watched that. That was long-winded when it didn't need to be.
Yeah. It was all right, though.
It was all right.
What was the tower? I can't remember.
That was the one where... Oh, go on.
Yeah, no, you go on. You.
That was the one I spoke about last week, where it starts off with a copper and a small... a teenager falling off a rooftop of a tower block. And they have to unravel why they did that.
Oh, yeah, no, yep, I'm back now.
The one off Game of Thrones was in it.
Yeah, let's not go down that route again.
No.
I edit most of that out. Went on for far too long. So that's it. That's the only television I've watched.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all right. It's all right.
What are we thinking now?
No Quantum Leap?
No Quantum Leap. Okay. That takes us on to...
News desk.
The news.
News items. News items.
Okay, first up in the news, we've got Henry Woolf passes away at the age of 91.
Yeah, Henry Woolf, he passed away at the age of 91. He began his acting career in 1961. He would go on to have roles in such programmes and films as Doctor Who, The Rocky Horror Picture Show, The Incredible Adventures of Professor Brainstorm. And then later in his career, he chose to help aspiring actors improve their craft. So instead of continuing his own movie career, he taught acting at the University of Saskatchewan in Saskatchewan, Canada, and lived there with his wife Susan and their children until he passed. So that was Henry Woolf, renowned character actor and acting teacher.
Okay. In a slight departure from our normal run-of-the-mill news rundown, we're going to have a quick, and I mean quick, discussion on what we learned on Disney Day. You guys take it away. I'll just sit here quietly.
So first of all, I think, they didn't do a bad job of trying to, reinvigorate Disney Plus and try and get the hype back again. Because let's face it, if you haven't got it, it seems like a really good thing. The whole back catalogue of Disney films whenever you want, and Marvel films, all that kind of good stuff. But then after a while, it's like, well, okay, we've seen them all now. And Brett's probably got most of them on Blu-ray or DVD anyway, so
That's true.
but so I think they did it well. As we spoke about earlier, $1.99 for new subscribers, losers. When the rest of us have to pay whatever it is a month.
I pay yearly.
And talk about them coinciding with the launch of Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings and some other content, which don't need talking about. And they gave us some snippets of what's coming. It almost felt a bit like, well, actually, you're kind of over-egging. You remember when it was the going back to school, and then around October time, all TV channels were saying, coming in Christmas or New Year, this is the new season lineup. It felt a bit like a overblown version of that. What stood out for you, Summers?
Well, I was very happy with the She-Hulk stuff.
Just in general.
Yeah, just in general. The clip they showed as well, it had Bruce Banner as the Hulk in it still, with his arm in a sling still. From the Infinity Gauntlet.
See,
But they're keeping the fact that it's the cousin, and I'm guessing it's the blood transfusion because she's in a car accident. They're at least keeping it as close to the origin story as they can.
You know my feelings on Intelligent Hulk. I'm kind of a bit bored of him now. I want to go back.
But I've got a feeling they're going to go the John Byrne comic route of She-Hulk, where she kind of acknowledges the camera a bit. Actually, you might like that, Damon. It's a bit moonlighting-y. We get, like when they're sort of stuck. Hey, can you guess what that guy just said?
They can turn to the camera.
Full, yeah.
Yeah. Do they still speak into the mic?
They can, but I was turning to you because I was to make sure you were awake. Because you're just like behind there with your rain mac on, whatever you're doing with your hand. I can't see.
I'm eating flubs.
Eating the flubs. Is that what the kids call it these days?
Yeah, that's what it's called these days.
Right, so that was cool. Moon Knight has definitely intrigued me a lot more because it was a comic character I didn't worry that much about, but that seems to be a really good thing that the
and it does look quite cool as well.
MCU thing is doing now, because it's sort of the characters I didn't really care about in the comics seem to be the ones I'm liking more on the TV shows. So, and the films and whatever. So yeah, so that looks really cool, and looks a bit a lot darker than a lot of the stuff they've done. We only got a title, but Agatha, House of Harkness, I think was inevitable after WandaVision because she kind of stole the show from everyone.
Yeah.
With Catherine Hahn reprising the role. Just what they're going to do with that, that's what I'm more worried about because, yeah, it'd be great giving her own thing. But
Are they going to string it out?
But yeah, how's it going to pad out? What they're going to do with it?
And what interesting cameos may we get?
Exactly. So, I mean, there's chances there, but the big one I'm most excited about we'll come to in a minute. But we got a little look at the new Miss Marvel as well. That looks good. I think that'll be breaking ground for a lot of positive reasons. What If Season 2? Season 1 was good. The new Echo series with, I believe it's Alacqua Cox and Maya Lopez looks interesting in the least. Not a character I'm that familiar with. It's a more modern character in the comics, but again, I'm up for giving it a watch. Spider-Man Freshman Year. We've had a lot of Spider-Man cartoons. Do we need another one?
No.
Yeah. I Am Groot.
So, I think James Gunn's executive producer of this as well.
Oh, okay.
So
there is, I believe, there's a Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special coming out.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
So, like, you know, we might have that dropped on us.
It'd be interesting to see what they do with Groot. Because again, it's one of those characters that you kind of think, well, actually, what does he get up to in his own time? Or what mischievous things can he do that they don't see in Guardians of the Galaxy?
What would Groot do?
Yeah. What would Groot do? That should be on T-shirts for Christmas.
Photosynthesized.
Ironheart looks alright. Not the character I'm most interested in because it's basically like a female Iron Man knockoff, but she's done well in the comics. A lot of positivity in that. So again, not one I know a lot about, but we'll give it a go. Marvel Zombies animated series. They've done it in What If. I guess it's a spin-off of that. Am I that interested? Not really.
No.
But you know, I'll probably end up watching it. And also we got a look at Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury from the Secret Invasion, which is also got Kingsley Benadir, Emilia Clarke, Olivia Colman, Killian Scott, and Chris McDonald in as cast as joining the MCU. So other favourites may still appear.
And there are some big actors and actresses, like quality actresses and actors.
Well, Secret Invasion is a huge storyline in the Marvel Universe where they find out that the Skrulls, who currently in the film universe are friendly, have basically their shape changes and they've infiltrated and took over key roles and key people and everything. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that as a I'm guessing a TV series. Or unless it's going to be a film for Disney Plus, but that's a big heavy chunk of Marvel comic folklore to be just put in a TV series. So I'm imagining we'll have the big guns turning up. Probably then, when would it die off a bit? Maybe around summer, Easter or summertime, ready for them to drop a big series on Disney Plus again to get everyone excited again, you know, and keep the interest going. There's a lot of films next year as well, so that may all tie in. But there's a lot of stuff there, and there is one more, but that's our next news item as well. Any other thoughts on that, Paul?
So, I mean, I guess they try to appease some more kids as well by having some shorts of Olaf Presents Disney films, which killed 5 minutes and just keeps the whole Frozen thing alive until I guess they decide.
Making the money.
Well, yeah, until I guess they decide on whether they're going to make a Frozen 3 or not.
Yeah, they are. Frozen 3's got Tarzan in it. Calling it now. Tarzan's the brother.
No.
Yes, that's the
no. I've seen this. I've seen the theory, but
totally. I said it after Frozen 1 at school when they said my family died in a plane crash with my brother. I'm like, is their brother Tarzan? And everyone ha ha ha. And then suddenly, like 2 years later, it's like.
But it wasn't in a plane crash, was it? In Frozen.
I thought they crashed into the jungle or something.
No.
Have you seen any planes in Frozen?
Seen it?
Right. So no, they don't. They're on a boat, and they don't end up in the jungle. That's
It's Tarzan.
That's
Two
coming
men
in
in their
Frozen 2.
40s arguing over Frozen.
Yeah, well, he's just seen it online because
Podcast
they
gold,
look a bit
people.
alike. So this is the theory that was dispelled some time ago with Frozen 2. Anywho.
Do they not just reuse the animation because it's easier?
Well, yeah, have you seen that as well? Where
I don't know what you're talking about. But...
it's the same thing in like Christopher Robin as it is in Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You reuse the cells because it's a lot
Well,
easier.
Robin Hood as well, wasn't it? They did it in
Yeah.
the greatest Disney film ever made.
Yeah, don't, because the song will get stuck in the head again.
So we're going to talk about some other stuff in a minute. One of the interesting things, and this may absolutely be my mind playing tricks on me, but they've added on the whole improved surround sound.
Yeah, and the IMAX thing, haven't they? And all that, yeah.
Give it a listen. Watch some of the films.
It won't make no difference on my telly.
Why?
Because it's the same. I haven't got all the fancy add-on stuff.
All right, because I gave it a go, and again, it could be my mind playing tricks on me, because it's just
Maybe it
I mean
does.
it's a new TV and stuff and surround sound,
Yeah,
but it's not the IMAX setup or
I've
whatever.
still got an aerial in.
But it actually does make a real improvement, and it's a little thing, but you kind of think, well, that's not a bad touch. The improvement.
Yeah, 'cause they have upgraded. They've overhauled all the behind stuff, haven't they?
Yeah.
What's the technical term? Computer geeks? What's it called? The back end.
Yeah.
They've overhauled the back end.
So what else? So we had a bit of Kenobi.
Oh yeah, I'm worried about that show.
There wasn't much of that, but again, it's just more stuff.
I think they're gonna. I'm really worried they're gonna shit on what they've already established, and just cause more hate.
Maybe.
But we'll see. I'm hopeful they don't, but it just looked like when they said that like Darth Vader's going to be in it and all that, and you're like,
I must admit, from what I've seen, when it's going on about why he decided to rejoin as Kenobi and Hayden Christian, none of them have mentioned, oh, you know what, I did it because I read that script and I thought
I did it because I wanted a big pile of money.
yeah. And that may mean that our fears are going to become in reality. But those basically the key things that stood out.
Cool.
On top of the ones that you mentioned.
What did surprise me of Disney Plus Day though is that basically if Marvel and have like dropped their wad, there wasn't going to be a lot for Disney Plus Day. I thought Disney might have, for all the other things that they've got, I thought they might have dropped a few more things themselves. Because there wasn't really a lot of like Disney news, was that
but I think a lot of their stuff's so early on in production.
Yeah, but even a little, hey, guess what? Here's some things we're throwing out there. There wasn't a lot of actual Disney news.
There were snippets of the animated Disney films that are coming up as well, but you have to go looking for them.
Okay, yeah, because they weren't like I didn't even by logging on. I didn't see any of that.
And also, even when you look at them, it's really short snippets of what's to come. Not even actual footage. And these are two actors going to pop up in this new film in 2023. It's like.
Yeah, because it was just like when they went on there, I thought I'll have a look, and then it was like there was a whole thing of like watch the Marvel Disney Plus Day announcements and all that sort of thing, and it was like cool. And you look through and like, oh, was that it then?
Yeah, and
it was.
There was a new short movie following on from Luca, which was about a boy that
the fish people.
Yeah, but when they come on land, they turn into human.
Yeah,
but it was literally just like a 8-minute short film. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing from
the Disney. That's what I say. Yeah, and then like in the Star Wars side of it as well. We got a little bit, but normally they sort of drop about 800 things at once. But
we all know that we've got Lightyear coming. So maybe they just thought they've dropped the mic there. They've set everyone's.
Yeah, let's just leave everyone before we ruin all the other things we established. So is there anything at all on Disney Plus Day that even made you look twice, Damien?
I didn't look once. I've not logged on to Disney Plus since I finished The Mandalorian, which was this time last week.
On the news,
and nothing on the news because it's all MCU.
Right, no, it's not all MCU. So let's carry on with our news items.
The big exciting one.
We're back to the news now, are we?
Yeah.
We finished what we learned.
Well,
on
this
Disney.
Well, no,
is,
it's
this
carrying
is
on.
still the big news from
Yeah.
Disney.
But it
Plus,
gives you a sentence to read, and then you can.
then you can go back to sleep again.
Oh, no.
Come on, Graham.
You ready?
Come on, Clive.
Go
Big
for it.
announcement. X-Men, the animated series, to be revived by Disney Plus.
It sent ripples across the multiverse. Eric and Julia Lewald and director Larry Houston, the creative team behind the 90s X-Men animated series, have revealed a few years ago that they were putting together a pitch for Disney Plus to revive the show, and now it's been reported that the series, which it looks like is going to be called X-Men 97, will pick up where the original series finished. And what a series it was. It was groundbreaking. It was edgy. It actually followed the comics and didn't try to do anything themselves.
Yeah.
And
And it had Gambit in it.
lots of characters. Yeah, Gambit was in it.
He was my favourite.
And that. So basically, still the X-Men animated series is still the best version of the X-Men we have in popular media. Sorry, Hugh Jackman, but it's true.
Yeah, no, and I think you're right. Unfortunately, the X-Men films never lived up to the hype. I mean, Hugh Jackman, to be fair, was probably, in my opinion, the best thing about them. And other than that, though, the script's a bit lackluster. The storylines are a bit lackluster. No one really got the payout that you were wanted from an X-Men film.
Well, the
or
thing is, they
X-Men film.
change everything all the time. Even like First Class and Days of Future Past are really good and reset the sort of their own Sony's X-Men universe, or Fox's X-Men universe. But at the same time, they weren't set right anyway, because like the First Class weren't really the First Class, and everyone knew that. It was just like, we've got all these characters, we're going to pick and choose and just do our own stories with them, rather than what was already established. Another example of people getting a franchise and just.
But it's not. Different. It's not like they didn't have a lot of material to work with. But they kind of just ripped it all up and said, "No, you know what? We'll just make a film that
with these characters."
Yeah.
But so if you've never seen it before, go back and watch it. I've got the DVD set somewhere still. It stands up. It still stands up. I mean, it is 90s animation, so all those you that might be used to all this new super anime, 3D super animation stuff now. I'm using all the technical terms that you know and love. It's not that standard. It's more your traditional cartoon, but it's still really good.
But it'd be interesting how they do it as well, because let's face it, the He-Man revival, the revival of He-Man. We've spoken about how good that looks, and it's still a cartoon. They haven't tried to CGI it all up to the hilt. So yeah,
and it was really good if you gave it a chance. He-Man cartoon revelation. But yeah, so the X-Men are back, and we'll see what happens next.
Cool.
Okay, next up, Peacock rollout began on the 16th of November on Sky and Now TV in the UK.
This new clothing channel, is it?
Yeah. So as we speak, the rollout has begun.
Is it like Judgment Day?
Yeah, I was going to say, is this Terminator?
So, streaming service of Peacock has begun to roll out on Sky and Now customers in the UK, and this new service will begin with what they are calling a soft launch in the UK and Ireland, coming at no additional cost. Sky TV customers and Now Entertainment members will be given content that is integrated into their current box set systems, rather than a separate standalone app, although there is talk of an app launching at a later date. So this is more of a rollout of the Peacock content rather than a launch of the service. Now, I know in America, Peacock have got a lot of stuff tied into it now. And again...
Such as, because I don't know anything about Peacock.
So I did have a long list, but I didn't send it to you, and I haven't got it in front of me now. But there isn't actually a huge amount of new content that we would likely get excited about. So if you think of... I'm trying to think of a UK equivalent over here. The Alibi channel. Yeah. Or there's that one on
Forces
on
TV.
Amazon. No. Certainly not Forces TV. That's quality. No, there's the Acorn TV, I think it's called, on Amazon.
There's a few random...
So all those kind of like... What's the word for it? Twee kind of... What used to be daytime dramas. Okay. On they would repeat on BBC.
So basically nothing's going to float my boat anyway.
No.
Cool.
Not at the moment. But then, we've over the last how many 6-7 months we've been doing this. There's been a lot of stuff that we've talked about that is going to Peacock, but none of it's actually available yet.
And the big one in America as well. This is the network that Vince McMahon sold the WWE network to. So in America now, if you want all the WWE pay-per-views and all that, you have to subscribe to Peacock. Right. And at the moment in the UK, the WWE network is still its own entity. But I imagine with this launching at some point...
Yeah, well, I think is Peacock not basically NBC?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of their chances.
So
just
their back catalogue
and all they're all
huge.
classic, yeah.
So Quantum Leap, for example, is an NBC. So I'd imagine at some point...
So this would be like...
app.
Because in the other related news on it, like Star Trek Discovery's disappearing off Netflix because it's going back to what's going to be the Paramount app and all that. So again, this will be NBC now clawing things back from other things to go on to the Peacock app. The content wars continue. We called it a year ago and it's happening, folks. Strap in to whichever networks you want to provide and subscribe to them all.
Oh, good. We're back to Disney again. Disney Plus have ordered a live-action version of the Spiderwick Chronicles.
Yep, the series, based on the beloved best-selling books, follows the Grace family, twin brothers Jared and Simon, their sister Mallory and mother Helen, as they move into their dilapidated ancestral home. They begin to unravel a dark mystery about their great-great-uncle who once discovered the secret and sometimes dangerous fairy world.
So the Spiderwick Chronicles film was alright.
I don't think I read
sounds like
one of the books.
Sounds like Lock and Key.
Seen the film. I think it's made by the same people.
You say that it's actually got a darker vibe to it actually, and as the film is quite good. And Disney do kind of need another series for that younger, tweeny generation.
Well, it'll be good. Hopefully it'll be a kids show that actually scares kids. Like we were saying earlier, bring back the fear, bring back the, don't talk down to your audience, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so we shall see. I've got nothing more on that. I read the book about 20 years, one of the first book about 20 years ago. It was alright. Didn't see the film. Don't even remember there being a film. When was the film?
Probably about 8 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
could have been
passed me well by then.
8, 7 years.
So in my world, that was last month.
Yeah, in Brett years.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally in the news, Superman and Lois gets a December release date in the UK.
Yeah, almost a year after its US premiere, Superman and Lois is heading to UK audiences in what is a surprise move as far as we're concerned. It's heading to BBC One next month with a primetime slot on Saturday
I told you!
Starting in December the 4th.
Of course it is. To rival Ant and Dec.
Great news for BBC One, but how are they going to do the crossovers?
I don't think they are.
Well, there's going to be another one at some point, surely. There's part 1's going to be on Sky in December, part 5 will be on BBC One next year.
Or iPlayer, maybe. Because I don't know. Because what is it? So, but then Batwoman is on, or Batgirl, whatever it is on Channel 4, isn't it? E4, whatever.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, I didn't even realise that.
Yeah,
I've just got it recorded on my box, so...
So that's not obviously connected to any of the other CW shows. So as in, it's not connected to the channels that currently show the CW shows over here. So if you wanted to do them in order, you'd have to switch over to E4, not switch out at the time. You know what I mean? So maybe they're just going to rely on the fact that if you can do it for Batgirl, is it Batgirl or Batwoman? Batwoman. If you can do it for Batwoman, then you can do it for Superman. Or like I say, they'll stick it all on iPlayer.
It's just weird that. So to me, that indicates that Sky aren't buying them anymore, which would be, and they've been ratings getters. So what's Sky spending its money on, or why are they letting it, or are they thinking
because they want to team up with HBO Max?
Yeah, or expand Sky Atlantic and all that, and that's where they put their bread and butter. So maybe as well then, is this Sky foreseeing a content wars issue in the future of in a minute we're not going to be able to have these shows, so let's just get rid of them now.
Could be.
Offload them.
Picking and choosing their battles and spending their money, I guess, yeah.
Because they've still got Flash and they've still got Legends on Sky. I thought Batwoman was on Sky, but I've just got it recorded in my box. I haven't really paid attention.
No, I'm sure it's E4.
No, yeah, you're probably right. I just haven't, and I've only watched about the first 3 of season 2 so far. Anyway, season 3's already started. So I've realised that's been recorded as well. So it's because they pretty much went back to back. But no, interesting. Again, it's,
Yeah, I just think it's it's strange that it's going to BBC for a start, but it's also strange that it's a prime time slot on a Saturday. Do you think of what they currently have on a Saturday? Strictly nonsense. And
They are trying to
blank.
fill the gap that Lois and Clark left in the 90s. That's
Yeah,
what
but
they're
even
doing.
But that was on at like 5 in the afternoon or something.
Yeah, no,
Wasn't
it was slightly later than that.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because
it was shit though.
I thought it kind of filled the
but
18.
it got the ratings.
Yeah, I know, but I hate Lois and Clark.
Yeah, no, but they've got the producers at the BBC thinking, oh, that did really well.
Hashtag not my Superman. And just as he got revived and got into Supergirl as like her dad and that, Dean Cain then went and sort of ruined his career again.
Yeah.
You know, he got his comeback.
He
He's an
didn't cover
amazing
himself in
series.
glory a couple of weeks back, did he?
And then, now he's just there. But again, it just paints a picture of like what's TV going to be like in say 5 years' time, because you can see it happening now. You can see everyone's putting their fences out, like we're saying. Maybe not renewing buying shows because they know they won't be able to put them on their services, and all that sort of thing. So where do we think now? Maybe say 5 years' time, are we finally just going to have network apps?
Yeah. I think we said that I know I've certainly said it.
Yeah, we've been tracking
Ultimately,
it.
we're
We've
the ones
discussed
that
it
lose
before.
out. It's the we're not even called viewers anymore anyway, are we? We're not viewers.
We're consumers.
Consumers.
Because it's content.
Yeah.
It's not programs anymore. I've got some new content, man.
It's us that will lose out.
And still pay a TV license.
Don't get them started on the TV license.
I used to just hate the word content. It's a program.
Yeah.
Although you do reference the stuff on Cult Faction site as content, so you can't have it both
I
ways.
never use that word.
Drop zone. Drop zone.
The drop zone. Let's get straight into it. First up, Elves.
A Christmas vacation turns into a nightmare for a teenager and her family when they discover an ancient menace that stalks their island getaway. Christmas is coming early this year, just maybe not in the way you'd expect it to be. Elves is on Netflix, November the 28th, 2021.
Looking forward to this one. I saw the
Yeah,
trailer
me
during
too.
the week, and yeah, I like the kind of mix from like European folklore to modern day where they like, caged them all in, and it looks like they're going to do it well. And to be fair, I'm a little bit of a sucker for the chirpy glockenspiel music or whatever it is, followed by screams.
Well, it's that sort of folky kind of horror thing, like you're saying it. I like that sort of music as well. But is it me or is the start just Bigfoot and the Hendersons?
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, okay, now it's going to live with them and have some fun adventures.
I got an ET vibe as well
Yeah.
from the
More
when-
Mac and me.
I really want to drink McDonald's and Pepsi now. It's like, yeah, no, I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, and it looks like they're going to do it well, and it's going to be dark as opposed to, as you said, Harry and the Hendersons, where they befriend the elf or one of the elves or whatever, or maybe there is a good elf that's battling with the evil elves. Who knows? But yeah, gonna be watching that
Next up, Fraggle Rock. Back to the Rock.
with Dwayne Johnson.
The rebooted Fraggle Rock series, Fraggle Rock, Back to the Rock, is part of the new Fraggle Rock content coming to Apple TV Plus in January 2022. The 5 main characters of Gobo, Red, Wembley, Moki, and Boober will be back, along with other Muppet species. So I'm taking it there's Gorgs and Doozers.
There better be.
Just want to point out, as an original cast member of Fraggle Rock, I'm taking this into consideration. Not been contacted yet.
No. Right, we ready?
Yeah,
So then, doesn't really give us anything.
Looks cheaper than the old series. That looks like worse than the series that's probably 40 years old now. It looked like almost all filmed against a backdrop. It looked like a puppet show that someone could do. And I know it is puppets.
I was going to say,
But it's not. But the original set was like 3-dimensional and or 4-dimensional. You know, it had layers and stuff. This just looks like there's a flat backdrop and puppets in front of it.
Dues.
But again,
to be fair, this I wouldn't.
it is a
not
trailer.
necessarily well, is it even a trailer? It's just. It is.
It's
It's a theme tune.
It's a theme tune, so.
No, yeah, you're right. It's not even a trailer. It's just a theme tune, isn't it?
Again, but it didn't look right. The puppets look cheap.
Yeah.
I think they looked better before.
It's almost as if they're priming them for the and these are the puppets you can just buy now.
Yeah. They've almost, I would say,
Screen realistic.
this looked like more Fraggle Rock babies than Fraggle Rock. You know, like sort of Muppet Baby, where they sort of made it a bit more simpler and more cuddly and cheaper, rather than.
It was a cartoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, but like those sort of toys were like it was just smaller, easier to make, and like a lot cheaper, quicker. And it looks like they kind of.
I also don't understand why it's on Apple TV, because the Muppet Show's on Disney, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Disney owned the Muppets.
So this feels
It's
a
an
bit.
odd one, isn't it?
Feels a bit weird.
There must be a reason for it.
Unless they had a stake in the original broadcasting and. Maybe because it was a cartoon.
Or maybe they genuinely.
It's a copyright about to expire, and we've needed to knock something out quick to keep hold of it. Because that looks like it was knocked out quick.
Anyway, I'm not going to be watching it.
I didn't even see Uncle Traveller Matt being mentioned. Yeah, as an original cast member.
Or the Doozers.
I shake my head. Yeah, I did see Doozers. Gorg.
No, the Doozers were there.
But I saw a little thing moving up and down. But I didn't hear a look mark. I caught a Fraggle.
There was no look mark. Caught a Fraggle.
I didn't see a trash heap. We're probably not allowed to have anymore because it judges poor people or something. Yeah. But and also the Doozers want to eat the Fraggles, and that might be a lot for the little cherubs to take in these days.
Yeah.
I'm probably not watching the first one and then just shaking my head in disappointment. But we'll see. We'll see.
Cool. Okay, we'll move on then to something that might float your boat. Halo, the series.
Halo, the series, launches in 2022 on Paramount Plus. Halo is an upcoming American live-action military science fiction television series. Is that a new franchise? Live-action military science-based television series. And it's based on the Halo video game franchise. The series will focus on the 26th century war between the United Nations Space Command and the Alien Covenant.
Spoilers, kids, that's what's coming in the 26th century.
It stars Pablo Schreiber as Master Chef.
Chief.
I know. Natasha McElhone as Dr. Catherine Halsey and Jen Taylor as Cortana. They can't call him Master Chief because everyone's going to say Master Chef.
Have you never played the game?
A long time ago, they were Xbox, and everyone knows that Xbox sucks.
Yeah.
Xbox. That was the only reason I got an Xbox, because of Halo. It was brilliant.
And we all came around and played it, didn't we?
Once.
We didn't, did we?
It was brilliant. No, because it was a one-player game. Well, no, some of them were two players. Anyway, let's watch the trailer.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Well, that was shit, wasn't it?
Well, as trailers go, there wasn't much to watch, but this is obviously the first teaser trailer, I'm imagining, as opposed to anything decent.
The internet blew up for that.
Maybe
that little snippet.
Maybe they were hoping there was going to be a bit more than 27 seconds.
I know, they were like, oh my god, this is wait till I watch it. I thought, I'll wait now, get the honest reaction. And it just looked like Ryan Reynolds in the Wolverine film as Deadpool from the back. And he had a helmet on, and then it just looked like the computer game advert, really.
I'm totally underwhelmed. Not that I could have been overwhelmed to begin with.
Yeah, I mean,
as
trailers goes, that's
as far as live-action military science fiction television series go, I don't think anything's ever come close to Space Above and Beyond. If you remember that one, that was good. But because people actually got killed in that as well. So you're like, oh, they're good. They're in it.
It will be interesting because isn't the Alien TV show coming out soon? Yes, next year or something.
That's a while away, isn't it?
I thought that was.
I think it's still
pre-production.
I don't think they've even cast anyone yet.
Yeah, not much to go on.
Not a lot to go on. I know the game was popular, and I guess it's got its audience. And like I say, it blew up. Twitter blew up when it came out, so I'm guessing it'll be a hit. Or then everyone will just turn their backs on it and slag it off if it's not. So it's going to be one of those. Yeah, we will see. We will see.
Cool. Let's move on then. Silent Night.
From producers Michael Vaughan from the Kingsman franchise of Kick-Ass, Trudy Steiner from Moon, and Celine Rattray from The Kids Are Right, Silent Night follows Neil and Simon, who have invited their closest friends to join their family for Christmas dinner at their idyllic home in the English countryside. Sounds nice, doesn't it? But
Sounds like Peter's friends.
that was that was it. Milton Abbey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As the group comes together, it feels like old times, but behind all of the laughter and merriment, something is not quite right. The world outside is facing impending doom, and no amount of gifts, games, or Prosecco can make mankind's imminent destruction go away. Surviving the holidays just got a little bit more complicated.
Silent.
It's one of those. I liked everyone in it. Jojo Rabbit lad is great as well. I liked him in Jojo Rabbit and other stuff like Jojo Rabbit. And what's her face from the BBC sitcom
Motherland.
Motherland is good. And obviously, what's that? Is the bloke? Is that the guy from Us?
I haven't watched
The
us.
dad.
He's in what's it called? The Witches thing. Discovery of Witches.
Okay, I just recognise him.
And I think he was in two. How many children in it? I don't know how many children there was in that many children in it.
5, wasn't
Something like that. He was in that.
Okay, but I do recognise. But that is one of those. It's Matthew Vaughn, so he's normally quite close to the knuckle. But I didn't get that vibe off of this, and I think it's one of those. We've got a great cast.
We got a great
And a great
idea
concept,
for a storyline.
but how far they're going to go with
Yeah,
it,
I
that
mean,
would be
all
my...
the snippets of reviews, whatever you want to call it, from, and it's like darkly comic, I wasn't seeing any darkness in there.
Or comedy. I think my concern with it is, it's an idea, quite a good idea, Christmas at the end of the world, almost. But after the first pun on, oh, well, here's to New Year, here's to a better New Year, cheers, or whatever, it just seems a bit repetitive, You half expected, someone to say, oh, should we put on the Queen's speech? No, let's put on Greta. Just something like that.
Let's watch When the Wind Blows instead of the Snowman.
Yeah, get everyone into the spirit.
I think so. Safe to say we're not particularly excited about it then.
No, I will give it a watch because Vaughan normally does some good stuff, but I didn't see anything in that clip. So I'm going in on the grounds. I'll give it a watch, but I'm hoping that it's playing its cards to its chest rather than, which he sometimes does, rather than just shows all the good bits in the trailers.
I'd be more excited if this wasn't a dark comedy and if it was just a dark film, and if they really, played it out with different families all killing each other or coming to terms.
That may happen.
Yeah, I know,
bargain,
but then they put in the it's a dark comedy. Is that,
Anyway, let's move on to our final release in the drop zone, Portal Runner.
In Portal Runner, 15-year-old Nolan discovers a secret family legacy and a portal that enables him to travel to parallel worlds. It's a young boy's dream come true until it becomes a nightmare when he realizes he is being pursued across the ages by an evil force. When he becomes stranded on Christmas in alternative timeline with his quirky family and rebellious and petulant older sister he's never met before, he realizes May be the key to defeating his adversary and must enlist her help fast before it's too late for them all. Do you think the thing is their dad?
I was going to say, is it him?
Ah, yeah, still there. Trying to stop himself. Yeah, I like that. I like that even more.
Really? Oh, well, what Damien's comment as opposed to the trailer.
I mean, looks good.
Why are you so negative, Paul? I like the premise. Okay, it doesn't look like it's been executed.
I liked it better
well.
when it was
looks
called
a
Sliders.
bit ropey.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm a sucker for
I like that stuff.
timey-wimey and portal jumping, just
It
not in the
just,
MCU.
it just kind of look. You can buy those special effects packs with like the burning flames. It looks like they got one with a portal in.
But the green portal does look like Rick and Morty because that's what they always use. So I don't know if that's like a little nod Because I was just like, oh, it's a bit like, all they need is a green one, and then a green one came up. But yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be the first to dive into that portal. I'll wait for you two to watch it first.
I think it'll be good for what it is. You know what I mean? It's gonna the twist to be who it is. Yeah, I like that it's him still trying to maybe stop him from doing it to
Doing it
begin
in the
with.
first place or something like that.
Yeah. But just a bit saying, maybe we can say Dad this time. It's like, there's your hook.
Yeah.
But why is she there? That's what I'm intrigued at. She's the reason.
Well, that's it. That's the end of the news. That's the end of the drop zone.
I'm assuming
Is that the end of the podcast?
That trailer hasn't come out yet, as it's not 8 p.m.
We're still
Eastern
waiting for the
Seaboard
new
time.
Spider-Man trailer, but it's not here yet. So tune in next week for our reactions to that one. I'll just double check in case they have surprised us. And
When he says our reactions.
it's still a reaction, just because it's negative and miserable. Old Elf Garnet over there.
I was thinking more zippy.
So there we have it. In a week that I discovered that Terrorhawks is on Amazon Prime with a 16+ rating, I think.
It's because it's so racist now. Honestly, I bought the DVDs. I bought DVDs a while back because I was on
Well, it can't be because it's racist, because they just didn't show it.
Network DVD, and for some reason you could buy the complete box set for it was £70 or something, but they had the 4 or 5 Blu-ray the individual discs for £2 each or so in the sale, and it was just
But you ended up buying a different set, a limited edition set for £200 because it came with a free
metal
T-shirt
disc or something in there.
no.
I used to have the Terrorhawks game. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Well,
That was brilliant.
I put it on and I was watching it. And this is it's a little bit cheesy because of that. And then the hero does the space one, and they'll start going "Oh, I'm hero, how you doing?" All that, and it's just whoa, I don't remember any of this. And they're mocking the Chinese guy and doing his
That's
accent.
not a lot different to Mask.
You never seen Thunderbird?
No, but Mask is just but the other characters weren't picking on him because of his accent and taking the piss out of him. In Mask, it was just blatantly someone doing a Chinese voice, Monkey Magic. It was.
No, I'm thinking more of the fact that in Mask it was always Confucius say.
Oh yeah, but that was more stereotypical. But no one turned to around and went, "Oh, Confucius say that, do they? Oh, I'm Chinese," or whatever. That's what they do in Terrorhawks, and it was just
I'm still not convinced that's why it's got a 16+ rating. But anyway,
no, it's one of those. It'll be the old that Doctor
Zelda.
Who, there's the Tom Baker Doctor Who series where it's Chinese and contains attitudes of the time or something.
They can put that on the. That's just a
yeah,
trigger
but that's
warning.
why. But that series of Tom Baker, those 4 or 5 episodes, are rated higher because of that. I think they're suddenly they're 15 or something because it's.
Anyway, it doesn't affect us because we're over 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just annoys me.
Now,
A show that we watched at 3 or 4 years old is now rated 16+.
yeah, but we watched a lot of stuff that it wasn't rated 16.
Yeah, but this was a kid show.
Yeah, but I'll lend you the Blu-rays. Have you got?
Don't have to. I've got
watch
Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah. No, I wasn't sure if you had to buy them. Sorry. Well, it might be cut on there. The Blu-rays,
Oh, here we go again. You've got a physical copy.
Yeah.
They can't interfere with your physical copy.
Exactly. I'm glad you agree with me.
Right, on that note, I think it's time to draw this shenanigans to a close. Don't forget to rate and review us on your preferred podcast app. If you want to get in touch, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook,
Instagram,
the video one, what's that
TikTok.
called? TikTok,
YouTube,
Twitch.
OnlyFans.
No.
Pornhub. For her pleasure.
3 guys screw a movie over.
And if you want to send us an email, you can do that at cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
Yep.
Until next week, it's a goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's a goodbye from me because I couldn't think of anything funny
Tried
to say.
it.
Yeah,
You
you
really
really
tried.
did. Yeah. I can see the cogs
Yeah.
whirring. It's too late now. You missed the opportunity.
You want to be thinking about that on the way into the studio, not.
Well, no, I have one, but I was like...
even if he comes up with something, leave the pause there.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, but then I realised, It was
Yeah,
gonna be,
it's
it was
just-
going to be worse than terrible. So I
Yeah.
had to stop myself.
And I was going to say something really funny too, but I didn't.
Bollocks. You bring up Teen Titans every week.
Mankind and Damien says on crimes. Only the wind is my friend.
Don't dev this. Don't diss dev.
Don't get this.
Exactly.
Fuck the return the torch up there.
I got a text today from the doctor. Please text back. It's like, are you a non-smoker, given up smoker, or still smoking?
When I get that, I text back with no. They can fuck
I've
off.
never had that before. I'm like, why? No,
It's on the
just-
bottom of every doctor's form or everything you fill out with the doctors. It's none of your fucking business. Fuck off.
Anyone fancies kicking it old school Saturday morning? Go to Woolston, go to get my jab, maybe Keith Paul's, whatever else. Get
Go and look at the 18 figures.
Get a Thundercat figure.
If Keith Paul's was still there, then I actually would.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure there's like some sort of equivalent, even though it's like some pound shop selling tat.
No, it's not
Smith's
the same.
Toys doesn't have the same.
No,
It's too
feel.
brightly lit, isn't it?
And
The thing
there's-
about Keith Paul's was it was dark.
It was a death trap
yeah, you could barely
waiting
move
to
it.
happen. Yeah,
It's all I remember is I was talking to Lee about this the other night. There was like some little stairs, and the figures were on the left of the Thundercat figures were on the right of the stairs, and there was about 2 or 3 stairs. And then
Yeah,
like a bit
that's
the other
right.
side.
And he went further back. There was another set of stairs, and right at the very back were the Britain figures. Is it Britain or?
Oh, Lee was on that. There was a collector's area. I don't remember any of
Yeah,
that.
so you had all the proper, the real old
Yeah,
school
the
toy
collector
soldiers
items and all that. Yeah,
horses and
Lee
stuff like
remembered
that.
that. I didn't remember any of that.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think
right
I
at the
got
very
that
back.
far. I think I walked in. That's what I wanted. No, buy me this now, Mama. I've had a jab. I've been a good boy. Reward me. Reward me. Like Stewie Griffin.
Reward me for my compliance.
Yeah.
Right, are we ready to?
yeah.